Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. On this video, I just wanted to give you a quick update, a very important update on the state of the AI industry right now. It's not what you think, and it's also not what I thought. So I'm just going to level with you in this, and that is right now, AI is way, way overhyped. Now, I want you to understand something. I was part of hyping it, but I am strongly convinced that at some point in the future, AI is going to be a massive problem for humans. Right now, the companies that are developing AI, they've been lying about how good it is and their progress. So set aside what I said is going to happen in the future, because that's still going to happen. Things are still going to take place. But right now, let's talk about right now. Right now, we are looking at some big tech firms that are just outright lying to everybody about how good AI is and how useful it is. And they have to maintain this charade because they have investors. And as soon as the investors figure out that this stuff is crap right now, the stock is going to crash. It's actually going to crash the stock market. So they can't let that happen. So I'm going to give you an analogy from the 1800s where there was a California gold rush, and all these people headed to California in hopes to get gold, and very few of them found it as a percentage. But the ones who made the most money were selling the picks and shovels. Now, how does that apply to AI? AI is the gold. When they're developing these things and trying to achieve these levels of intelligence that they are, that's the gold. The picks and shovels are the support systems. It's going to be NVIDIA making chips. It's going to be all the construction companies building the buildings to house the servers. It's going to be the server companies. It's going to be all these other support systems that they're selling the tools to find the gold. The problem is that very few of these companies that are involved in developing AI, very few are going to achieve the gold. And the reason for that is because this is so hyped right now that this whole thing is going to have to go through a real hard reset. Now, Stanford University did a study just recently, and they surveyed around 100,000 software developers, and they found out that when they're using AI, these guys are all using AI, they're finding that it's only increasing their productivity about 20%. And I'll explain that in a second, but I wanted to let you guys know that if any of you guys are not software developers, you're like, I don't care about code. Well, I want you to know that software development is it's like putting a chatbot under a microscope, because what happens is, like, when you're having AI generate papers for you, or books or text or anything, you're having it write all these things. There can be mistakes in there and you won't even know it. I mean, I've seen AI create text that will get people sued. And the reason I'm mentioning code, because I'm a software developer, and a long time ago, I worked for the defense industry, and I developed and built autonomous robotic devices. And the reason I'm bringing up code is because it's very clear when AI makes a mistake in code. You can't hide it. It crashes the program. And I've been testing this. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but I've been putting AI to the test myself. I'm not just sitting here reading headlines and things like that. For the last 3 weeks, I've been putting AI through a very, very grueling set of tests to create this really crazy, complex website that is on the order of Facebook and your bank's website or things like that. It's just like really complex. And I have been just putting it to the test, and it has been, just to get to the point right now, it's crap. It's crap. And I'll explain why. And what I found is in line with what is the universities are doing their studies, and they're finding this out. They're actually talking to developers, and this is not hyped because the AI companies are not involved. This is just developers using AI. And here's what they're finding out, that when you develop a project, if the project is simple, or you're writing a paper, let's say you're writing a paper. Every time I talk code, if you don't write code, just project this onto the other stuff. Like if you're asking it, where do I go on a vacation? Where do I stay? All that kind of stuff. Project what I'm saying onto how you use AI, because it's very important. Now, what they have found is that when you develop a small, simple coding project, let's say a piece of software, an app, or a website, AI does an amazing job. It's really fast. They found that it increases productivity about 40%, which is kind of like another 40% of a person sitting next to you that can get things done even quicker. But when the project gets a little more complex, the productivity goes down. And then once it gets really complex, like mine was, then I don't even know if it's worth it, because the stuff the AI is putting out is total buggy garbage. And here's what I found and other developers found, is that when the project gets complex, it will spit out, it'll do that 40% increase in production. You'll get a whole bunch of stuff right away, but it's all got bugs in it. I have found that the more complex the project gets, these things spit out bug after bug. And the problem is they're so stupid. I mean, these things, we think of AI as they're supposed to be smart. They're supposed to be all knowing. They have access to all information. Well, it turns out that they really suck at this. And as the project gets more complex, I have to spend hours. So get this. I have it generate some code. So let's say it creates a page that's part of this complex system, just one page. It creates this page in 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And then what happens? It doesn't work. So then I ask it, hey, it doesn't work. This one thing is not working. So if I follow it down the path, AI down the path of debugging this thing, if it doesn't fix it in the first go round, we can spend hours on it and it'll never fix it. It only makes things worse. In fact, I'm going to tell you guys something that happened to me, because what I wanted to do for my study was I wanted to really give these things the benefit of the doubt. I have the best of ChatGPT and the best of Grok working on this thing simultaneously. Well, in the process of having a bug in a page, just one page, Grok started going down this path of, check your server, check this and that. And it was just getting off the page. So I was like, okay, I'll follow it along. Well, long story short, Grok kept having me try these things, insert these things, then go on to my hosting company and change the settings on the website and then all that stuff. Well, first, Grok crashed the entire website by doing that. And then the next thing it did, it crashed the entire server. Like the server wouldn't even work. So, and Grok was just positive. It would, try this, try that, it's going to work. And it would give you the fix and it would say, tell me how that worked. That should have worked. And here's why it worked. And I'm like, no, you crashed the entire server. Now I got to revert back to everything to try to restore everything. So I learned right away, never give these things the benefit of the doubt. This is just a massive problem. So what I ended up having to do was about a week ago, I got pretty frustrated because I'm like, I'm not going to keep doing this project if this goes this way. So I made Grok and ChatGPT explain themselves, explain why you're so, your answers are so bad the bigger the project gets or the bigger the chat gets. And so then they both unanimously came back with something similar where these rules to follow. Don't let your chat get too long, keep your focus narrowed. And here's another surprising thing. ChatGPT suggested that if it can't figure this out, which it won't admit, to go over to Grok and ask Grok. It's kind of weird. But it ended up being where this was getting stupid, really stupid, and wasting tons of my time. So what I ended up having to do was I applied their little simple rules, just keep everything short and focused and everything. But the problem with that is I ended up having, because this website is extremely complex, there's a lot of programming running in the background. Even when it worked on one part of this thing, it didn't have the context for the whole thing and why something is there. And so it would completely screw it up. So anyway, enough about that particular thing, because I'm just going to tell you right now, it is really, I'm only able to use this stuff very limited on a complex project. In fact, I've spent, I collectively, I probably spent days in the last 3 weeks, many, many days of debugging their garbage that they spit out. Now, AI in the future is going to be something that is going to be a problem for humans. And the reason for that is initially, I'm telling you guys, just mark my words on this. This is not about whether it can write code and all this other stuff. AI is going to be used as a tool by some not so good people. And on a high level, it's going to be these very, very powerful people that want to control you. They want to control the population. And AI is going to be used for that. It's positive. It's also been known for thousands of years that this is going to happen. It will happen. But in the meanwhile, this is not real impressive. In fact, it kind of made me conflicted because I've been talking about the massive job loss that is happening because of AI and what is about to happen. The problem is that because AI is so inaccurate, some of these jobs were replaced by AI, and I think the companies are regretting it real bad right now. And so I'm not sure how the pendulum is going to swing the other way, because it was really swinging toward AI is going to cause massive job loss. And I think that some of these jobs are going to kind of come back. And I'm not talking about people that write text necessarily and things like that. I'm talking about developers who really need to keep code clean. And us as humans, we have an amazing ability to organize and make decisions, and AI is really crappy at it. AI is good, if I want to brainstorm and I say, hey, I'm looking to do this idea, but ultimately I have to be the one to make the decision on what AI presented. I can't just follow what AI said. So anyway, the point I'm getting to is that this current AI situation is just total garbage. These companies are lying in the stock market. So I do think a bubble's going to burst on this. And the reason for that is because these big AI companies have not made this profitable yet. As soon as the investors really find this out, then it's going to crash. Now, what is leading the stock market? Well, it's NVIDIA. NVIDIA makes the picks and shovels for the gold. Hey, why is AI doing so well in the stock market? It's because NVIDIA. It's because so many picks and shovels are being sold that it's causing the gold to be more believable. And that's what's going on. Now, the other thing that I was just going to mention to you was I had an illustration here. This is a calculator I used to use when I was working in the defense industry and engineering. This is a graphing calculator. But this calculator, I'm just going to let you know what this calculator versus AI. If I type in the numbers and I press the button to do the function, the results are repeatable. It's absolutely repeatable every single time, because inside of this thing, it's programmed to do exactly the right thing, no matter what. Now, if this was AI, then I would say 1 plus 1 equals, and then it would say 2. But later on, it might say 1 plus 1 equals 9, or it'll say right after I say, okay, if I said to AI, what is 4 plus 2? AI would say 6. Would you like to know what 12 plus 13 is? It follows up with this question that you don't even expect. And you're like, okay, now I'm thinking about that answer, But anyway, it offers you more crap. And then as things get longer, it's making decisions. So this one here, it just doesn't have to know. It just is, it's simple logic to come to an answer. But AI is making a decision on how to answer it. And so whether you're into coding or you're writing or you're planning a trip or making a life decision or chatting with these things, you have to understand that the results may vary, and it's not always based on you. A lot of times it's based on you and your tone, but these things are all over the map. And I've explained in one of my other videos how when you deal with AI, it's like you have an infinite number of robots. And when you start a chat, you're interfacing with one of these robots. The problem is these robots are random too. I'm finding out that if I go into Grok and say the exact same thing as I did in another chat, Grok's response is different. It doesn't even, it's not repeatable. Like nothing is repeatable. So if the answers are not repeatable, then are they the right answers? And a lot of times they're just not. Now, one of the other things I wanted to mention to you, because I'm not going off a script here, just please forgive me for looping around a little bit, but I needed to mention to you guys that AI has got another massive problem, and that is what's called the source of truth. Now, the source of truth is an interesting thing, because AI generally has been presenting its answers based on what the internet says, what is out there on the internet. The problem with that is the original source of truth is things like Yelp. If you guys have gone to Yelp and seen people answer other people's questions, there are a lot of really smart people answering questions, but there's a lot of really stupid people and uninformed people and just want attention, and they give completely wrong answers. So AI is scraping the internet for all of these kind of things and presenting these really stupid answers. And here's another problem with AI. Did you know a massive percentage of the internet now, like if you go to websites and things like that, a huge percentage of stuff out on the internet was AI generated? Now, why is that a problem? Because AI read the internet and then it wrote some more stuff that's out on the internet, and then it's reading the internet again. So it's reading its own crap and then putting out more. So it becomes like gossip. It becomes further from the truth than ever. Now, one of the most profitable companies right now that's selling the picks and shovels is there's a few of them, but there's one company in, of course, India. There's a company that is scraping the world for data, and it's going to sell the data. What they're trying to do is they're trying to accumulate data on everything, and then sell it to Google and sell it to XAI and sell it to OpenAI and things like that. So what they're trying to do is have this big pot of information that is closest to the truth as possible so that the AI will be more accurate in its responses. So what I did find out, guys, have you ever had your phone ring and you answer it, you don't recognize the number, you answer it and it's just silence? Some of that is actually AI and it's data scraping. What they're doing is they want to see if the phone number is valid. They want to hear if you answer it. If you say hello or whatever, it is going to record that phone number. It's going to mark down that phone number as a valid phone number to call. It also records your voice, so your voice pattern and things like that. Now, a lot of that is for malicious intent. You know, there are hackers. I don't know why everything has to come out of India. Why India? Why is everything through the phone and the computer that is really bad seems to be out of India? But what they're doing in India is they're using AI to break into bank systems, to break into your accounts. If you click on the wrong link, if you hook up with them, their AI can start breaking into your stuff instead of you having to reveal everything. So AI is really, really terrible. And the stuff they're doing with voice is really scary. As soon as you say hello, they're recording your voice pattern, and they try to get as much voice as they can. And then they turn around and they're able to call your bank and make them think it's you. So, you know, this is really bad. So AI, even though there's going to be a bubble and it is going to crash, it's still going to be around. You can't put this cat back in the bag. Is that what the term is? But anyway, so it's here to stay, but initially it's going to be, it's just total crap. I mean, I'm not impressed. I'm impressed with a couple things about it, but with the coding that I've been doing, I've been questioning everything. I've been questioning the accuracy of this. And anybody who says that, one day that AI, they're going to develop super intelligence, which I think they're going to do, but it's not going to be developed because the developers are trying to help humanity. Super intelligence, which is the ability of the AI to rewrite its own code and evolve, is actually going to be created by some really big narcissists, some people that have a God complex. And those are some scary people, because when they unleash that, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's not going to be pretty. But I do know that at this rate, the way AI is malfunctioning, I would say, that it's going to be, who knows when. So, guys, this AI world we're in right now, I would say that overall, there are going to be some amazing leaps in technology and things like that because of it. But it's also going to have a negative effect on people. I mean, if you think about it, even since when I was a kid in the 1970s and 1980s, and times were different back then. Now we have the smartphones, we have all the computers, we have everything. But back then, you know what? As kids, we just went outside. I mean, we were out there and we were riding our bikes up and down the street. There's like gangs of us. We weren't in a gang, but we just communicated face to face with each other. And now with all this technology that has happened, you always lose something in the process. And I think kids nowadays are just zombies. They're just staring at their phones all the time. And, it's going to be that way with AI. So anyway, that's all I've got for the video. But if you guys want to know some real straight talk about the latest in AI, I am keeping up with what's going on in the industry. I make future predictions. Some of these predictions, it's going to sound weird to you guys, but I've had dreams about this stuff since I was a kid. And those are bizarre. And I have a video on that if you want to check that out. But, you know, if you like this stuff, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and be sure to hit that like button. It does help the channel. And if you've watched up till now, I appreciate you watching. And until next time, catch you later. Bye.